Well, hello. Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. I lost track of time actually. I heated my soup far too hot for consumption within the allocated time frame, unfortunately. And now food coma. Welcome back. I'm Jodie. I'm the Defence Rests, your hostess with the mostess, and I've decided that live streaming is pretty much like a mullet. I think you can be decent on the top half and indecent on the bottom, provided the camera doesn't show it. We are currently on day 2 of the Apple River trial for Nicolae Miu, who is, I'll get the charges. He is currently being charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Count 1 is first-degree intentional homicide, and the other 4 counts are attempted. That's because the stabbing victims, unfortunately, one of them lost their life. That is Isaac Schuman, who is shown at the top left-hand corner there. And one other person was stabbed. That was Madison Cohen. Now, today, where are we? We have heard from, we're up to Elena Hernandez, which is Isaac's mum. She will be testifying first today. But first of all, I'd like to get into just a little bit of a tribute, because it's important to remember the victims, and Isaac was only 17 years old, and yeah, we need to honour that. So I'll just play a little tribute and we'll get into it. Okay. Now, where's my intro? All right, let's get right into it, shall we?
State calls Elena Hernandez.
Ms. Hernandez, please come forward. There you go, right there. Face the clerk, raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be true to your best ability, so help you God?
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Anderson.
Can you please state your first and last name and spell your names correctly?
Elena Hernandez, ALINA HERNANDEZ.
Elena, where do you live?
Stillwater,
And how long have you lived there?
8 years.
And do you work currently?
No,
What do you do prior for work?
I owned a salon and spa business for about 20 years.
Now you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Who's in your family, immediate family?
My husband, Donnie Hernandez. Alexis, she's 27. Jacob is 21. And Isaac was 17.
So I want to ask you a little bit about Isaac. What did Isaac like to do for fun? What kind of hobbies did he have?
Isaac had a lot of hobbies. He loved his family and traveling. We loved to travel, and he had his own business, and he had recently started, and he detailed boats and cars. He worked down at the marinas and detailed boats. He started a mobile detailing business, and he loved to golf. I lived on a golf course, and he golfed almost every day. He loved boating, fishing. His friends, his girlfriend.
And when Isaac was killed, he was before senior year of high school.
Yes.
Did he have plans for after high school?
Yes. He was an honor roll student, and he loved school, and he was going to go to school for engineering. He was hoping Madison.
Yes, ma'am.
When I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit 1, it's 3 photos. Can you just go through them? Or actually, first, can you just tell me what their photos are?
My son Isaac, was his junior picture. And then his 17th birthday, his last birthday. And then this one is the day he bought a trailer for his mobile detailing business. And he texted me and said, "Mom, come out and see my new trailer." And the dog and I ran out, and he uses for his business.
Can you ask to publish?
Any objection? What was the number?
Exhibit 1.
1 is received.
Point the screen out. Elena, when was the last time you saw Isaac live?
The morning of July 30th before he left.
Did you know he was going to go tubing with friends?
Yes.
How did you know that?
Well, he originally told me in the morning that he was going to go golfing and with his friend, but his friend had to work. He ended up having to work, so they were going to golf later that evening. And so I was out on the deck having coffee with my sister-in-law, and he came out and said, "Some of the guys are going tubing on the river, and I think I'm going to do that until we can go golfing." And I said, "Okay." And the way I said okay wasn't like I was super excited about it. And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, I was going to ask you to pick Dad up from the airport. Dad got a flight home." And he said, "I can pick Dad up." And I said, "No, just go have fun with your friends on the river."
Did you know who Isaac was going with to them?
Yeah. He said they were meeting up at the high school and that Alex was driving. And I said, okay, don't forget your sunscreen. And I grabbed it and I put sunscreen on his ears.
And at some point, did you learn what happened?
Yes. So then my sister-in-law and I went down and they had lunch downtown Stillwater. And then my husband had taken an Uber home from the airport and he was going to meet us down there. And we were waiting for him. And I got a call from Owen's phone. And I thought, maybe Isaac's phone went dead or he lost it or something. And so he was calling me from Owen's phone. But Owen called screaming that Isaac had been stabbed. And he gave me the pin drop of where to get to. And my husband was just pulling up and I ran out of the restaurant and hopped in his car and we got there in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes.
What happened when you got there?
Well, we followed the ambulances and I just went running and I ran up into one of the ambulances thinking that it was Isaac sitting up in there. And I started crawling into the ambulance and I realized it wasn't Isaac, it was one of the other kids. So then I climbed out and then I looked and I saw Isaac's hair laying on the riverbank. I knew it was him. And they were trying to perform CPR on him.
Did you go to Isaac?
Yeah, I ran to Isaac.
And when you got to Isaac, was it clear he was already deceased?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Schroffelsson?
I have no questions from Mr. Van.
Thank you. You may step down. Mr. Anderson, who is the next witness?
Juan Cockfield, Judge.
One is the boy that recorded the video of the
Could you spell his last name while we're waiting?
Mr. Cockfield?
Yes.
Cockfield.
Mr. Cockfield, please come forward. Face the clerk, raise your right hand. She will administer the oath.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give this tonight shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Smestad.
Will you please state your name for the record?
My name is Juwan Cockfield,
How do you spell your last name?
Cockfield,
How do you spell your first name?
Jawahn.
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Are you a student or are you working or
Yeah, I'm a student,
where are you a student at?
St. John's University.
What kind of activities are you involved in at St. John's?
I'm a member of the football team and the wrestling team, and I study global business.
That's your major field?
Yeah.
You familiar with the person named Isaac Schuman?
Yeah.
How did you know Isaac?
Isaac's one of my best friends.
How long did you know him?
Since middle school.
Or were you with Isaac the day that he was killed?
Yes, I was.
Or you with the group of boys with Isaac on the river on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Back on July 30th of 2022, how old were you?
I was 17 years old.
Had you finished high school at that point?
No, I haven't started my senior year yet.
Was it the summer before your senior year?
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Folks all rode over with Alex Bang to the river.
Yes, sir.
You ran to the river edge.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, sir.
Did you get on the river?
Say it again?
Did you get on the river after you ran to
Yes, sir.
You folks drinking alcohol?
Yes, sir.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
I had a few beers.
Do you remember how many?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Were you drinking any hard liquor at all?
Not that I recall.
Did you use any other substances?
Yes.
What kind of substances?
We smoked some marijuana.
Did Isaac Schuman smoke any marijuana?
No, he did not.
We've heard from other witnesses that your two are all connected together. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
At some point, I'll strike that. Did you end up taking some video recordings of some things that happened on the river that day?
Yes, I did.
How did you take those recordings?
My cell phone.
Did you specifically record interactions that your group had with Nicolae Miu, the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Are those recordings in 2 separate segments?
Yeah.
One short, one long?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we're going to play this short 9-second video here.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, that was my mistake on the screen blacking out. Once you went to your desktop screen, I closed it.
I'm going to ask her to play it again.
That's fine. It's my mistake.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mr. Cockfield, is that the first video that you recorded of Mr. Miu that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your voice?
Yep.
At that point, were you sitting in a tube?
Yep.
Why did you start recording this?
Because he was just kind of looking suspicious from what I was seeing.
All right, was he, you saw in the video that he was standing a ways away from your group?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yeah.
Had he been closer at some point when you started video recording?
Not during that recording, no.
Right.
Like the first one.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say he's a raper?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
He had said like a weird comment. That's kind of why I started recording in the first place. Like, because he was having his snorkel and it was like 2 feet deep water. So like, what are you doing? And then he just said like a weird comment, something about like some little girls. And
Did
then,
you have any girls with you in your group?
no, I did not have any girls in my group.
Did you see any other girls on the river here where you
Yeah, there were some girls on the river.
child age girls or?
Not that I saw, no.
Did you know Mr. Miu at all?
No,
Did you know whether he was a pedophile or anything like that?
no, I didn't.
Were you making some conclusions based on what you saw him doing?
Yeah.
Sustained.
After you said he was a raper, did he come closer to your group?
Yeah.
Did you restart your recording?
Yeah, because after I said that, I like looked away and was like, whoa, whoa, because he looks really scary when he looked at us. And then I like refloated a little bit. And
You
then
say he looked real scary.
like when I said that, like you could see like his face look at me. and like you could see me go like, oh, and then I got scared and then stopped recording.
Did you appear angry that you called him a raper?
Objection, speculation.
One at a time, please.
Objection sustained.
Right. When you saw a look on his face, did you start recording again?
Yep.
And the second video, was it how long after the first video?
Probably like 10 seconds. We had just floated a little bit further.
Not playing the second part of the video in your honor.
No, just keep it off. You have to tell us when you want us to play, or display, rather. All right.
What is he on? Whoa!
Mr. Cockfield, is that the second video that you took that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your leg in the screen?
Yeah, it is.
Counter for the record, the video is paused at the 6-second mark. John, you see Mr. Miu's hand grabbing onto your tube there?
I do.
It's touching your leg.
A little bit, yeah.
Did that cause you concern?
Most definitely.
Did he say anything when he came running up and grabbed onto your tube and by your leg there?
I guess I didn't hear him say anything specifically.
Do you recall who you were sitting next to in the tube?
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Landon Wire.
Landon Wire? Did you know whether he grabbed onto any of, or made contact with any of Landon's body parts?
Yeah, definitely.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Once he grabbed onto your tubes and was touching your legs, what did you do?
I stood up.
Were you concerned that he was reaching out for you?
Yeah.
Were you able to get away?
Not really.
Did you stand up and walk away?
No, I didn't walk away.
Did you get out of your tube?
Yeah, I just stood up in my tube, so I didn't float away.
Did he make any further physical contact with you after you were able to stand up?
No.
Did you know this person at all?
No.
Do you remember how long you've been on the river when he ran up and
I guess I'd have to take an educated guess and say like an hour.
did you, when you first saw him, was he alone or was he with a group of people?
He was alone.
All right, did he ever indicate that he was with other folks?
No, not from what I saw.
Did you say anything to him at the time that he grabbed onto the?
Yeah, I was just saying like, whoa, what are you doing?
All right, is that on the video?
Yes, sir.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No.
Did you hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu?
No.
Overruled.
Can you say that again?
Did you say anything to Mr. Miu at the time that he ran up and grabbed onto your tubes?
No.
Did you and others start yelling at him to get away?
Yeah.
Do you remember the kind of language you were using?
Yeah, we were just yelling, like saying like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Were you calling him some names?
Yeah, calling him like a pedophile.
All right, why were you calling him a pedophile?
Because he was running up on some kids and he had said a weird comment earlier.
Did you grab onto your or touch your part of your leg?
Yes, sir.
Objection, speculation. Bleeding.
Sustained.
I heard to say you and your friends were making a commotion at that point.
Objection.
Yes, sir.
Sustained. On leading.
Did somebody else in the river come over to see what was going on?
Yes.
You know those folks?
I did not.
Do you remember how many folks initially came over to look at you guys?
Not like an exact number, but it was probably like 6 people.
All right. The first 2 folks over, were they males or females?
First one was definitely a woman.
All right. Did you see the woman speaking to Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did you hear what she pulled him?
Yeah, she just told him like, get away. Like pointing and like, get away.
Was that also recorded on the radio?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to play another portion. Before that, I'm going to ask you, as you're recording this, were you using your cell phone?
Yeah.
Were you holding it close to your face or out at arm's length? Like,
I actually had it attached to my neck with like this, like there's like a tourist thing, kind of like you just put it in the pouch or whatever. And like it's attached to my neck. It probably go out like that far.
all right. Is it fair to say that your recording captured some things that you yourself didn't see at the time?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you're recording, some of the things you're recording, you weren't looking in that direction?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna play from the 6 seconds, Judge.
Tell us when you're ready.
Ready?
It's on the wrong setting. There we go.
It's gonna be playing from 7 seconds.
Oh God! We up! We up! What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? What? Get away from us! What? Wait, what are you doing? What's going on with y'all homie? He's on camera. Guys, let's tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, them new iPhones got that good quality. What did he say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. Further culture. Who is that? Further culture. Who is that? Who the hell is this? Go. It doesn't matter. He said he was looking for a little girl. You're looking for a little girl? Yeah. That's exactly what he said. Weirding us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I? Some young ass kid. What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you. He's gonna claim you. We don't want this motherfucker. He on camera. Oh God, he on camera.
Pause at 150.
John, is that essentially more of the video you took that day?
Mhm.
That is-
Yes, sorry.
Is that your voice sort of narrating what's going on?
Yes.
Was that you saying for the culture?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
I guess kind of like for the greater good. It's like a new saying, I guess.
Sort of street slang.
Yeah.
As you're recording that, did you see Mr. Miu take a knife out of his pocket?
I did not with my own eyes.
You've reviewed the video a few times?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Are you aware now that your video shows him putting
Yes.
up the knife?
Yes.
That you didn't see it at the time?
No.
But still frame judges number 2524. Ready? We're ready. John, is this a still frame from your video?
Yes.
You see Mr. Miu in the video?
Yes.
You see what he's got in his hands?
Yes.
What is it?
Looks like his knife.
No. You didn't, was your testimony earlier, you didn't see him hold the knife or hold the knife? But
No.
did you, while you're recording, see him holding the knife down by his side with the blade facing up?
No.
Going back to a still judge, this is 2533. also a picture from the video?
Yes.
What do you see in that still?
See him holding his knife.
If you had seen him while you're recording the video holding that knife, what would you have done?
Objection, speculation, irrelevant.
Sustained.
At this point in the video, who's standing in front of Mr. Miu, if you remember?
I guess I don't really know her name, but her. I don't really.
Men or women?
Oh, it's a woman.
Right. Was there one or two women standing in front of him?
Oh, there was two.
At some point, did you see Mr. Miu do something in relation to one of those women?
Yes.
What did you see?
He punched her.
Which one do you remember?
I think it was the blonde one.
When you just watched the video, you're aware your video does not capture that punch.
Yeah.
But you saw it yourself.
Yes.
Sustained.
Were you looking in a different direction than the camera was
And
pointing?
the camera was, yeah.
And at the time that you saw him punch the blonde woman, that you handed the camera over to where your friends were?
Yeah.
After Mr. Miu punched the blonde lady, what happened? What did you see happen?
I saw all of her friends kind of like start going towards him and like try to, I guess, fight him.
All right, and did the fight break out?
Yes.
Did you know any of the names of these folks?
No, I did not.
Did you see somebody strike Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did Mr. Miu go down?
Yes.
Did you at any point touch him in any way?
No, not once.
Other than that, did you touch your leg earlier? You did not touch
No, I did not.
Another portion of the video. I think we're right here. We're playing from 150.
He ain't a woman. He ain't a woman. You ain't a woman. He ain't a woman.
Ending at 206, Your Honor. John, did you also record that portion?
Yes.
And as you watch it here today, you see Mr. Miu stabbing holes in the knife.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
At the time that you recorded that, did you know that was happening?
No.
Is that you laughing in the background?
Yes.
At one point, did you say you hit a woman?
Yeah.
Was that a reaction to what you described earlier?
Yeah.
Did you eventually realize that people were getting hurt?
Yes.
Did you realize that Isaac Schuman had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I kind of just looked down the line of people that were hurt. I saw the first person, like, that's not my friend. That's not my friend. That's not my friend. The last person I looked at was my guy, Isaac Schuman.
As the fight's going on, did you see people bleeding?
Yes.
At some point, did you realize what was happening?
Yes.
And that when you stopped laughing?
Yes.
So we're going back to the video. It'll be from the 206 mark up to the end.
I have a frisky feline that has to be in every single live stream. Everyone.
fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's dying. He's dying, bro. Wait, what? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we serious? Is this real? Oh my god. Who is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this real? Is this real? Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck? Is this real? Is this real? Bike, bro, bike, bike. That's not bike. That's not bike. That's not bike. That's not Isaac. Oh my god. This isn't real. This isn't real.
Do you want to set the final part of your video that you took that day?
Yes.
At the end, when you were saying that's not bike, who were you referring to?
Isaac Schuman.
Is that a nickname?
Yeah.
Were you able to see where Mr. Miu went after he stabbed these folks?
No.
Were you concerned about where he went, or were you?
No.
Did you make your way up to Isaac?
Yeah.
Were you able to see that he had been wounded? Did you try to get some folks to help?
Yeah.
Eventually, did some people stop to help?
Yeah.
Was the nurse one of the people that stopped to help?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Did you know the folks that stopped to help you?
No, I did not.
Eventually, did police and medical personnel show up on the road?
Yes.
Do you know how long it took for them to get there?
No, I don't.
Did you see Isaac get transported off the river?
Yeah.
Did you follow?
Yeah.
Once you brought up to the road to the bridge,
Yeah.
did you speak to an officer? At some point, did you tell an officer that you had video of the incident?
Yes, I did.
And did you show that officer the video?
At the time, I just played it to the point where Mr. Miu was in it.
At some point, was the officer able to take a screenshot of a still from your video
Yes.
that showed Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Approach?
Yes.
Isaac, I'm showing, I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit 38. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that is?
That's my cell phone with a still frame of Miu on it.
Is that the still frame of the officer, the still picture the officer took of your phone that day?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
I'll move for admission of exhibit 38.
The objection? Received.
Once you got up off the river, did you speak to a police officer?
Yeah.
Pretty briefly?
Yeah.
You saw what you saw happen?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Eventually, was Isaac transported to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you follow?
Yes.
Did you speak to another officer at the?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell that officer what happened?
Yes.
Did you see the person in court who you recorded that day who did this?
Yes, I do.
What else did you learn?
He's wearing navy and gray pants with some brown shoes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Trophy.
So, Mr. Hatfield, you are currently a two-sport college athlete, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You play football and you wrestle in
Yes.
college.
Yes.
What position in football do you play?
I play defensive end.
Defensive end.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, how big are you?
I'm about 5'11", probably like 235.
5'11", 235 is what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you wrestle at too?
Heavyweight, yes.
Back in 2022, about the same size?
I was a little bit smaller, yeah.
Wrestle at heavyweight still?
220 pounds, yeah, back then.
So you considered, back in July of 2022, you considered yourself to be a fit young adult, right?
I guess I'd like to think that.
And I'm going to ask you some questions initially about the interview that you gave with officers, okay?
Okay.
The interview that you gave with officers at the hospital, you indicated that Mr. Miu told you that he was looking for a snorkel. Is that right?
That is what I said.
Okay. You never mentioned to officers that he told you anything about looking for little girls, correct?
If that's what it says.
Well, in a situation where you say he's looking for little girls, do you think it would be important that you would tell officers that he told you he was looking for little girls?
Yeah.
But you never do that, do you?
I guess I didn't.
Did you think it was important?
I guess there was more things that were more important, but that is important in the grand scheme, yes.
Right, so more important was he was looking for a snorkel.
No, more important that your friend has
But you
died
mentioned that.
and your other friends are been
Yes.
stabbed.
Okay.
I know the defence is doing their job, but they just pick apart the
You say,
testimony
if I have it right,
word for word almost.
you had 3 to 4 beers and were using marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. There was vodka that had been brought by your group. True?
Yes.
In Tito's and like water bottles.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any of that?
No.
Okay. So just the 3 or 4 beers and some marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also, I guess to your credit, tell the police you guys were antagonizing Mr. Miu, right?
After the fact that he hit the woman, yes, we were.
Well, you don't consider calling him a raper antagonizing him?
I mean, based on what he was doing, and it looked like that really, that made him chase after us afterwards, so who knows what he was really doing.
My question to you is, do you believe telling him that he can't have sex with little girls and calling him a raper would be considered antagonizing?
Yes.
And you were the one who was saying that, right?
Yeah, but that's after he ran up on us and was doing a bunch of weird stuff. Or he looked weird, I guess I could say.
Okay, so
I'm saying that, yeah.
and you know he's alone, right?
From what I see, he looks alone.
Okay, so, and you know that and what you see, he's kind of an older man,
Yes.
not very fit?
Yes.
Okay, so you see an older, not very fit man walking alone, and you start calling him names.
As I'm sitting on my tube, I'm saying, what are you doing with the snorkel in 2 feet water? And then he said something weird after that.
What business is it of yours on the river, what he's doing? He's not bothering you, right?
I mean, I was interacting with every single person we saw that day on the river.
Okay, so
At least most people.
Joanne, my question remains, what business is it of yours to bother a man who's not bothering you?
I was just asking a question. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And he tells you, I'm looking for a snorkel.
At that point?
Yeah.
Or the snorkel was in his hand at that point?
Well, you tell the police that he told you he's looking for a snorkel. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you then say, grown man can't have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You have no information as to what this older man is doing, do you?
No.
Okay. And you say, after you call him a raper, he looks over at you, right?
Mhm.
Yes?
Or yes.
Wouldn't you suspect somebody that you called a raper to kind of look over at you?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Are you surprised that he looked over at you?
At the time, yes.
When you were calling him names, you're surprised he glanced over at you.
Objection as answered.
Overruled. You can answer.
Yes.
Now, can I ask you a little bit about this thing, lanyard or whatever, that you were holding your phone in? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's around your neck.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury how long is it?
It's not like that long. Like I said, I could probably pull my phone out that much and it's around my neck the whole time.
So can I ask you, in terms of when you're holding it, about how, I know it's not up to your face, okay, but how far away from your face or your chest do you think it would be?
Yes, I could say like 7 inches, 8 inches.
Okay, so you're not able to hold it like I'm, right now my arm is extended. You're not able to do that, right?
Not much.
Okay, so, and I won't get too close to you, but, so you're holding it kind of like this.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Mhm.
Okay. And you indicate to police in your interview, they say to you, are you calling him any names? And your response to the police is, there were a couple of us guys calling him a weirdo, right? You told the police that?
Yes.
Okay. You don't tell the police that you're actually calling him a pedophile initially and a raper.
I said on the thing that whatever else I said would be on the video. That's what I said.
Okay. And you don't know what he's doing walking over by where you're at, right?
No.
Okay. So, a raper and saying he can't have sex with little girls, you're doing that to humiliate him, aren't you?
Not necessarily.
Well, what other reason would you be calling him names when you don't know anything about what's happening?
Trying to figure out the situation.
So the way that you're trying to figure out what's happening is by calling a grown man names. Yes?
Yes.
And you are yelling at some point, get away from us,
Yes.
right? Okay. And that's after he comes up to your group, right?
Yes.
And when he comes up to your group, you're holding your phone kind of like this, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Recording it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. And he walks around your tubes and away from your group, does he not?
After engaging with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be happy. You wanted him to get away from you, and he is getting away from you, right?
Not much. I mean, we're just standing there and like he barely walked past us at all. And like it pretty much in our path, we can't flow past him. He's in our path. We can't.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. He walks past you guys, and you guys continue to move toward him, is that right?
Not necessarily. Move towards him.
Yeah, so
What do you mean by that?
if you're Mr. Miu,
Okay.
and at one point he turns his back to you guys, is that true? You saw that on the tape?
Yes.
Okay. So this person that you want to get away from you is walked away from where you're standing and turned his back to you. True?
Walked out of our path, like into our path from where we went from. We passed him and then he ran up on us and then went in front of us.
You and your group move toward him like I'm moving toward you, right?
No. Not like, well, I mean like the way you're describing it isn't necessarily how I would feel like we were doing it, moving towards him. It's kind of just, we were there, yeah.
You were moving, your group was moving closer to where he was standing.
After he had moved completely up to us.
I understand.
Yes.
You want him to get away from you.
Uh-huh.
He's moved downriver a little bit, and your group is moving in his direction. True?
Yeah, the way the river goes, yes, that is his direction.
Okay. And do you remember, Mr. Ryan Nelson testified, Mr.
Okay.
Do you remember someone yelling on you in your group? You got 10 seconds.
I don't recall that personally.
Okay. It's at 38. It's at 38 seconds. I'm going to play it, and I just want you to listen. You don't have to watch.
Okay.
Just listen, okay? Yes. So, Mr. Keifield, if you just listen.
What did he say?
Could you play it again? I'm not sure if I did. I'm sorry.
So the new iPhone got that good quality. What did he say?
No, I actually did not hear it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But you would agree at that point your group is moving in his direction, yes?
As the river would go, yes.
Right. You don't stop, but you're walking with your tubes in his direction. True?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And you say shortly thereafter, you were asked this, you're yelling for the culture, for the culture, right?
Yes.
And you were asked what that meant, and your response was something like for the greater good.
Yeah, along those lines.
What is the greater good of you recording that?
I mean, this guy was, like I said, ran up to our group as we were floating past him, and we were causing a scene like, what is this guy doing? Get away from us. And then people come over to help us. So that's for the culture, for the greater good.
At that point, had the people come up?
Well, when I said for the culture, that's when the people came up. So if that's not at the point where, well, yeah.
Okay, and this is all.
I said it, yeah.
We try to talk one at a time, okay?
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So this is something that you want to record, right? This incident, you want to record this, don't you?
I mean, not really sure what type of question that is.
Well, you don't stop. Hold on. You don't stop recording and try to figure out the situation. You just keep recording what's going on. True.
Yeah, I mean, why would I stop it? That looked like it was like a weird situation. I just record it.
I'm sorry. You said it looked like a weird situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, you see Mr. Miu walk over to this blonde girl.
Yes.
He's cleared a path for you all to walk through, hasn't he?
Yes.
So you have to be excited. You wanted to get away from him. You said he was standing in your path. He's moved out of your path. So your group can just go right by. True?
I mean, that group came over to help us, so why would we just leave them?
I want you to listen to my question.
Can I hear it?
He moves over so your group can go past.
Is that why he moved over?
I'm not asking you that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, you said you were yelling for him to get away.
Huh?
You wanted him to get away.
Yes.
You said he was standing in your path, right?
Yes.
He moves over out of your path.
Yes.
So your group, you have to be excited because your group now can go right by, right?
I mean, we could float by it, yes.
You could have floated by,
Yes.
but you didn't.
Yes.
You stayed,
Yes.
okay? And you stayed as this other group comes over,
Yes.
okay? And you, on tape, yelled to this blonde, he's looking for little girls.
Yes.
You don't have that information.
He said that. I remember him saying that. So
He said that, hold on, you don't have that on tape,
Okay. True, it was not on my video.
and you never told that to the police. True?
True.
Okay. When she comes over and you choose to stay instead of actually moving on with your trip, you hear her yelling at him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Ryan Nelson described her as being in his face. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and her name is Madison Cohen. Okay, just so you know. So you would agree that Madison Cohen is in Mr. Miu's face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you would agree she appears to be angry, true?
Yes. Or concerned at least.
I'm sorry?
Concerned at least. Yes.
You don't tell her what's going on. You just say he said he's looking for little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of trying to explain the situation, you're just yelling at her, saying, this is what he said.
Yelling to her what the situation is, which would be considered explaining, kind of.
So what's the situation?
He said he was looking for little girls. So I told them, like, that's the main concern of the situation. And then he ran after us. So, yeah.
And he ran after you, and instead of passing, you stay and tell her that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, initially, it's the six of you and Mr. Miu. True?
Yes.
You'd agree when this other group comes over, now there's more people involved.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, an additional 5 people come over to assist.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're at least up to 11 or 12 people against Mr. Miu.
Okay.
Is that right?
True.
Okay. And during this entire interaction, up to the point we are right now where Ms. Cohen comes over, Mr. Miu's not saying anything aggressively to any of you, right?
No.
He's not physically doing anything to show his aggression toward you, right?
No.
Okay. And you're not afraid of him at that point, true?
Because of the people that came to help, I was not afraid of him. At that
Right. So strength in numbers, right?
You could say that.
So the more people that are coming over, is it fair to say, as the number of people increase, your fear level decreases? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And 11, 12, 13 against 1, you're feeling pretty comfortable at that point, right?
Yeah.
And you, when I say you guys, your group, the young Stillwater people, you begin to taunt him, don't you?
What do you mean by taunting?
Kind of get in a circle around him and all start pointing at him that he's a pedophile.
Object to the characterization of being in a circle around him. That's not the evidence.
That'll be up to the jury to decide. Objection overruled. It's cross-examination.
Right?
Can you say that again?
Sure. You guys form kind of a circle around him, really close to him at that point, pointing like I'm pointing, gesturing, pointing at him, calling him a pedophile.
Yes.
Okay. And because of the way your camera is situated, you're pretty close to him as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of taunting him and calling him a pedophile and pointing at him in that situation is what?
Kind of just to let them know what he was doing.
You already let them know what he was doing.
Yeah, but I guess it was just still going on.
What was still going on?
What you just described.
But I know what you're doing.
Okay.
The question is, why are you doing it?
I guess I don't know. It was 2 years ago.
Were you doing it to taunt him and humiliate him?
Not necessarily.
So why are you doing it?
Said I guess I don't necessarily know.
Any other explanation that you can think of as to why you would go around somebody pointing at him, taunting him, calling him names, other than to humiliate him? Now, you had mentioned that he had punched the blonde girl, Madison Cohen.
Yes.
Okay. You agree that's not on tape?
Yes.
Are you saying that you saw it though?
I did.
Okay. When you say that you saw him punch her, she's in his face, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens if you know? What happens to her?
Like after he punched her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you see how he punches her?
I kind of just see like a hand come over towards her face or at her face, and then I just see like the follow through. Because I didn't really see anything after that.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that? And what I mean is, I don't want to mischaracterize what you're saying. Okay. Do you know which hand he uses?
No, I can't really think about which hand he used.
Okay. And when I think of a punch, maybe you and I think of it the same way. I think of a fist and somebody kind of putting their weight into it and punching somebody in the face. Is that how you think of it?
I think there's I guess a bunch of ways to punch people.
Okay.
So,
How do you see it?
like a punch,
How do you see this punch?
just like kind of like a hook.
Okay, so you see him and you used your right arm, right?
Yeah.
In that situation. So do you believe that he uses his right arm and throws kind of a hook across?
I'm not sure which arm, but it kind of felt like I saw a hook. Yes, a hook.
A hook. Okay. You don't see her go down, do you?
No.
Okay. And at that point, you see this group of people attack Mr. Miu, right?
Yes.
You see him get punched in the face and fall backwards into the river.
Yes.
You think that's funny, right?
After he had hit a woman, I think he was sort of getting what he deserved. Yes.
So you thought it was funny.
Funny. Yes. I guess I was laughing.
Yeah. And in fact, you had moved up. You got your camera. You're kind of right up in his face with this now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And as he's being attacked, you're laughing throughout that portion of the video, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. When he gets pushed back in the water, you're still laughing after somebody had already been stabbed, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But you're still laughing. True?
True.
You agree that, from what you've seen, Mr. Miu doesn't stab anyone until he's attacked. True?
After he had punched the girl and then was attacked, yes, then he started stabbing people.
Okay. Before that, would you agree the temperature kind of and what's happening is going up and up and up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. More people are showing up.
Yeah.
She's getting in his face,
Yeah.
right? It's feeling more volatile to you.
Yeah.
And you're feeling more comfortable because of the numbers, right?
Yeah. I was gonna throw these away if I had a trash, but Appreciate it. Thank you. Might ask a couple questions, Mr. Catfield. There's a point on that video that you say, I'm paraphrasing, but you hit a woman, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. That's not at the point in the video when you believe he struck Madison Cohen, right? What do you mean? Well, there's two. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood what you were saying. Fair enough. You know there's two women involved in this? Yes. Okay. When you say he struck a woman, is when he makes contact with Riley Madison, not Madison Cohen. Do you know that? Say that again? Sure. You said he made contact with me. Yeah. There's two women, okay? Okay. If we're going to do this sequentially, you say he strikes Madison Cohen with a hook. Yeah. On that video, you don't say anything about him punching Madison Cohen. No. Right? No, I don't have to. Like, as it happens, I didn't. Right. You don't mention that on the video. Not right away. What you mention on the video is that at the time, sequentially in the video, he makes contact with Riley Madison. Then you say he hit a woman.
I object, Your Honor. That's not
Who cares?
Sustained.
I don't have any other questions.
Otherwise, you hit a woman.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Smithstand?
John, you were asked about how big you are, that you're a football player and a wrestler. Do you ever touch Mr. Miu in any fashion?
Not once.
Did you ever cock a fist at him or anything like that?
Hello, mister.
Did you ever tell him you were going to give him a beat down?
No.
You told Mr. Trophacy that you told the police that at one point he said he was looking for a snorkel. Did he actually say that at some point? Mr. Miu, I mean?
I'm not sure at this point.
When he ran up and grabbed onto your tube and made contact with your leg, did he have his snorkel in his mouth?
Yeah, that is. It's like trying to
Did he drop it out? So
Yeah.
you were asked about whether you heard someone say you got 10 seconds. You indicated you didn't hear that. Did you ever say that?
I never said that. Yeah. No.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
I did not.
Overruled.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
No.
Mr. Trophacy had asked you why you didn't float by him and get away from him, and instead you continued recording. Did you have any idea that any of this was going to happen?
No, I did not.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think it would happen?
No.
As you sit here today, are you glad you recorded it?
Yes.
I'm going to show still frame number 2593.
One kitty cat.
We're ready.
Good. Say hello. Say hello.
Do you see that, John?
Yes, I do.
Is that a still frame from your video?
Yes.
How many people are confronting Mr. Miu in that still frame?
2
Males or females?
females.
Do you see 11 or 13 other
No
people?
show without
circling
punching his
him
house.
In that photo?
I do not.
Do you see anybody behind him?
No.
We all want me to go to bed.
What do you see behind him?
Open. Looks open behind them.
I'm going to scroll through some of the stills from after this picture. We'll start. This is starting at 2593. Stopping at 2643. That sequence of stills, is that when you panned over to your group of friends?
Yep.
Or your group of friends surrounding him?
Yeah.
And the photos
What
you
did you
just
say?
watched, Was your group of friends surrounding Mr. Miu?
No. No, it wasn't.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No.
Were you all standing in a line?
Yeah.
Sustained.
How was your group standing in relation to Mr. Miu in these stills that you just watched?
We were just standing kind of by our tubes. Fine.
When you spoke to the police, you told them that he punched a woman.
Yes.
Did you
Sustained.
What did you? When you spoke to police, what did you tell him happened with the woman?
That he had hit her.
And that was right after the incident?
Yeah.
Nothing further.
Mr. Prophecy.
You were asked, you're this kind of big guy, did you touch Mr. Miu? And you said that you hadn't, right? He never touched you either, did he?
Besides the very beginning when I was sitting down on my tube.
Right. But otherwise, in terms of being physically aggressive, you weren't physically aggressive toward him, and you weren't harmed in this at all, were you?
No, I was not.
Okay. And you were asked on redirect about, do you recall telling the police that you were looking for a snorkel, and you said you didn't really recall that, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Why did you say it?
No, I'm saying I didn't really recall telling the police that.
But you believe that to be true, that he told you he was looking for a snorkel, right?
I guess I don't recall that.
Well, my point is, if you don't believe that he told you that, why would you say it?
I don't know.
The picture that you were showing with the two females standing in front of Mr. Miu, you remember that?
Yes.
You'd agree there's approximately 11 people standing behind those two people, right?
At that very moment, I'm not sure.
You'd agree that there's a group of people, two groups of people, your group of people, and the other group of people have come together, right?
Not necessarily all together. They were like kind of on their way, I guess.
Okay, but there's your group, and then I think you testified plus at least 5 or 6 others that come over.
Yes.
Okay, so overall, at that point on that video, that still that you were shown, it's 12 on 1, right?
In that still frame, no, it wasn't.
There weren't 12 people standing there?
In that still frame, it was 2 standing next to him, if that's what you're asking me.
With Penn right behind him, right?
I'm about right behind him.
Well, you saw the video, or you saw the still of you and your group moving forward once you say that Madison Cohen was punched, right?
Yeah.
You're all right there.
Like, they're right here, and then he's right here. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, you were asked, well, it's open behind him, right?
Yeah.
There's a point in the video where you pan back. Do you see where Mr. Miu's group actually is?
No.
You don't know if he was by himself or with other people, right?
No.
You don't know if your group or the group that had come over had cut him off from getting back to his people, right?
I don't know.
Mr. Captain, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about things you were asked on redirect. I'm going to show you picture or still 2623. Okay.
Okay.
And that's a picture of your friend Alex Vang and a picture of Isaac, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking at them when you're running this camera?
At this point, I'm just like panning around and like looking all around, I guess.
What I'm interested in is your head, your face, your eyes looking at where your camera's looking?
No.
Okay, so
I guess I don't recall technically exactly where my eyes were looking while I was panning around right at that this still frame.
Okay. But you'd agree that at this point, Mr. Miu and Ms. Cohen, there would be I'm looking at it, they're to the right
Yeah.
of this, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And your cameras, you're holding it like this, right?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
And do you know at that point, in order to see what's going on over there, you're holding the camera straight and you're turning your head like I'm turning my head to the right? Yes?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Well, what you testified to was that your eyes aren't necessarily in the same place
Yes.
as the camera.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm asking you is, you're holding the camera showing Mr. Vang and Mr. Schuman.
Yes.
Okay. You're not looking at the camera. You're not looking where your camera's being pointed. Is that what you're saying?
Not at every second.
I understand. There are points that you're
Yeah.
moving around.
Yes.
Right. But your head, in order to see what's going on with Mr. Miu, your head is turned in this direction in order to see this confrontation that's going on.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
While you're keeping your camera here.
Yeah. Like I guess I can move my camera, move my head. Everything can move.
All right. Do you see what I mean about the defense being absolutely nitpickily intensive on every witness? Yeah. So there's your example. Hence why I'll probably be cutting most of the cross-examinations out, because it's a complete repetitive of exactly that. So the next witness we have is Alex Vang. Let's start again from here.
Correct.
Rent tubes at River's Edge.
Yep.
Do you remember if you got a receipt for the tubes?
I don't think so. No.
You remember what time you got on the river?
Estimate maybe around 1:30.
Was your group together in the tubes?
Yes.
Were your tubes connected together?
Yes.
What's the plan to float down to Village Park in Somerset?
If that's at the end, yes.
Do you have plans for a return trip back to River's Edge?
Say again.
Did you have plans on how to get back from Village Park up to River's Edge?
Yeah, we were probably gonna find a ride.
While you were tubing the river, were you drinking alcohol?
Yes, I was.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
Just some beers, some Michelob Goldens, and maybe some the like ultras or something, whatever they're called.
Did you have any hard liquor?
I did not.
Do you know if anybody in your group was drinking hard liquor?
I don't recall.
Did you use any other drugs that day?
Yeah, I smoked some weed.
All right. By weed, you mean marijuana?
Yes, please. Or yes.
All right. As you were floating down the river, did you eventually have contact?
I just have to replay that. Sorry, that
Yes, I
amused
did.
me. Sorry, I have a warped sense of humor. Let's go back and play that bit.
Some snorkeling gear.
Did you ask him what he was doing?
I did.
What did you say?
He said, you're snorkeling in some pretty short water. Like, what are you looking for?
And how did he answer?
He said something along the lines of, he responded with looking for little girls or something like that.
Are you aware that, we'll strike that. Did you record any part of your interaction with?
I did not.
Now, let me finish my question.
I'm sorry.
Is this your first time testifying?
It is.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes.
All right. Did you yourself record any part of the incident on the river?
No, I did not.
All right. Are you aware that somebody else in your group was?
Yes.
Who was that?
Jawan Cockfield.
Have you had a chance to review that video?
Yep, I watched it once.
And did you see yourself in the video?
Yes.
At the time that you asked Mr. Miu what he was doing and he responded like that, is any of that on the video?
No.
At some point, did Mr. Miu brought up on your group?
He did.
Did that cause you concern?
Yes, I was very scared.
Did you bail out of the tube?
I did.
What did he do when he ran up?
From what I remember, he ran up to us and grabbed our global business leadership.
What year are you at St. John's?
I'm a first year.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
I was.
How did you know him?
He's my best friend.
How many years were you best friends with Isaac?
7th grade, I first met him.
Were you with Isaac Schuman on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Were you part of a group of your friends that tubed down the Apple River near Somerset, Wisconsin?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac when he was stabbed and killed that day?
Yes, I was.
It's my understanding from other testimony that you were the driver and drove everybody to the river.
Correct.
Did you rent tubes at River's Edge?
Yep.
Do you remember if you got a receipt for the tubes?
I don't think so. No.
Do you remember what time you got on the river?
Estimate maybe around 1:30.
Was your group together in the tubes?
Yes.
Were your tubes connected together?
Yes.
What's the plan to float down to Village Park in Somerset?
If that's at the end, yes.
Do you have plans for a return trip back to River's Edge?
Say again.
Did you have plans on how to get back from Village Park up to River's Edge?
Yeah, we were probably gonna find a ride.
While you were tubing the river, were you drinking alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Next bit.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
Just some
Listen
beers,
to that answer.
some Michelob Goldens, maybe some
The next question.
the like ultras or something, whatever they're called.
Did you have any hard liquor?
I did not.
Do you know if anybody in your group was drinking hard liquor?
I don't recall.
Sorry.
Did you use any other drugs that day?
Yeah, I smoked some weed.
All right. By weed, you mean marijuana?
Yes, please. Or yes.
All right.
Yes, please.
As you were floating down the river,
Were you smoking marijuana? Yes, please.
did you eventually have contact with the defendant, Mr. Miu?
Yes, I did.
All right. Do you know whereabouts you were in the river when you first saw him?
I don't recall. I just know we were a little bit a ways from a bridge.
Had you been on the river before?
I have.
How many times?
Just the year previous.
When you first saw Mr. Miu, what was he doing?
He was just looking in the water with some snorkeling gear.
All right. Did you ask him what he was doing?
I did.
What did you say?
He said, you're snorkeling in some pretty short water. Like, what are you looking for?
And how did he answer?
He said something along the lines of, he responded with looking for little girls or something like that.
All right. Are you aware that, we'll strike that. Did you record any part of your interaction with?
I did not.
Now let me finish my question.
I'm sorry.
Is this your first time testifying?
It is.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes.
All right. Did you yourself record any part of the incident on the river?
No, I did not.
All right. Are you aware that somebody else in your group was?
Yes.
Who was that?
Jawan Cockfield.
Have you had a chance to review that video?
Yep, I watched it once.
And did you see yourself in the video?
Yes.
At the time that you asked Mr. Miu what he was doing and he responded like that, is any of that on the video?
No.
At some point, did Mr. Miu run up on your group?
He did.
Did that cause you concern?
Yes, I was very scared.
Did you bail out of the tube?
I did.
What did he do when he ran up?
From what I remember, he ran up to us and grabbed our tubes and stopped us from carrying on.
All right, were you floating at that time?
Yes, we were.
Did he stop you from floating?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a still frame from the video Or do you put it on the screen? Alex, I'm showing you frame 0156 of Jawan's video. Are you in that picture?
That's me, yes.
Does this describe when this picture was taken? I mean, what's going on when you're in the water there?
This must have been when he was running towards our tubes and was just about grabbing our tubes, and I was off the tubes at that moment.
Whose leg is in the foreground of the picture?
I'd assume at the very bottom that's Jawan's.
At that point, had you separated yourself away from your raft of tubes?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I was concerned for my safety. I didn't know what his intentions were running up on our tubes.
Is it fair to say that prior to him running up, Jawan called him some names?
Yes.
All right. Were you involved in calling him any names before he ran up on the group?
Yes.
Do you know whether he was alone or with a group?
From what I saw, he was just by himself.
Did he have a tube?
No, not that I saw.
When he ran up on you, were you able to see whether he had anything in his pocket?
No.
At any point during this interaction with him, did you know he had a knife?
No.
Did you know Mr. Miu at all?
I did not.
Do you remember how long you've been on the river by the time you had this run-in with him?
I'd estimate maybe an hour, hour and a half.
When he ran up and grabbed onto your raft of tubes, did he say anything that you heard?
I don't recall.
Did he, I know from the still we just looked at that you had gotten off your tubes, did he make any physical contact with you at all?
Not me, no.
At any time during this incident, did he ever have any physical contact with you?
No.
As he's grabbing onto your tubes, did you say anything to him?
I don't recall.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No.
Did you tell him he had 10 seconds to leave or anything like that?
No.
You did call him some names?
Yes, I did.
What kind of names did you call him?
Pedophile, predator.
Maybe a dumb question, but you don't seem to be proud of that.
No, sir.
Do you agree that you boys probably weren't very kind to him?
Yeah, I agree.
In the context of what happened, though, did you know what his intentions were?
No.
Eventually, did you and your friends start yelling at him to get away?
Yes, we did.
Were you using raised voices?
Yes.
You've seen that all on the video?
Yes,
At some point, did other folks come over to see what was going on?
they did.
Do you recall who was or can you describe the first person that showed up to?
The first person I saw come up was maybe a small white lady.
All right. What did she do?
She pretty much just confronted him face to face, saying to leave these kids alone. You could leave right now. Just leave these guys alone.
Did she swear at him?
I don't recall.
All right. Did she have dark hair or blonde hair?
I don't recall, but my best estimate would be blonde.
At some point, did you see two women from another group confronting him?
Yeah.
And what was the other woman doing, the second woman?
From what I remember, she was just next to the other lady. I don't recall what she was really doing.
Did you hear her tell him to leave at all?
A lot of people were telling him to leave.
including you?
Yes.
At some point, as you reviewed the video, do you realize you guys are laughing at him?
Yes.
Why was that, if you know?
You know, he felt like it was kind of those situations where, like, you know, yeah, we like caught someone doing something wrong, and you know, it's something like that.
Did you think that he was getting in trouble from this other group?
Yes, I was thinking that he was finally about to leave and stop all the commotion that's going on.
Were you feeling relieved?
Sustained.
Say again.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
If there's an objection, I have to rule sustained means don't answer.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So again, he rehashes the same story as it continues on with Madison Cohen and Riley Madison. So our next witness is Quentin Q. Coulson. He is the father of Dante and Anthony Coulson, two of the victims. And let's just cue. And I will show you. So we're up to Quentin Coulson. Dante Coulson, his son, is next. And then tomorrow morning, Anthony, his other son, testifies as well. So we'll continue from here.
While you were tubing, at some point, did something catch your or your group's attention?
Yes.
What was that?
We had come around a bend and noticed a group of teens that were calling and beckoning us to come help them. At that point, I had told my boys to stop our tubes, and I observed for a minute. And at that point, I saw Mr. Miu charge their tubes and stop the tubes from progressing down the river. I saw him acting in an aggressive and drunken manner, and I just thought that it probably was going to end badly if it didn't de-escalate. I asked my two boys to go over there and make sure nothing happened. I never dreamed it would turn into what it did.
And what was did you have a specific fear regarding escalating, whether that was Miu or the boys, both, one or the other?
At that time, the boys were all sitting in their tubes, but the way he was acting and the way he was, he was literally standing, the tubes had kind of wrapped around his legs, and he was stopping the tubes from going down the river. And I thought at some point, the boys at that point were still calling out for us to come help them. But I thought if those boys get off their tubes, they're going to beat the brakes off of this guy. And he's drunk and, obviously wasn't making good decisions. So we own a bar. And
so there you go. This gentleman sent his two sons over there because he feared that the young lads would be endangering Mr. Miu. That was his observation from his group, from where he stood. And
my boys are good at de-escalating fights and calming people down. And so I told Tony to go over there, and I told Dante to follow him. The girls were the first off their tubes and had run over there ahead of it. But it was Tony and Dante that I had asked to go over there.
And did you, at some point, did the incident turn physical?
It did. And to be honest with you, I was still across the river. The river was very rocky at that point, and I don't walk so well. But Maddie had come running to me. He punched me. And the next thing I knew, I had a string of boys running at me. First my son Tony, and then Dante yelling, "Daddy, stab me." And I just remember thinking, stabbed you with what? You know, I mean, I was bewildered, and
Did you
didn't realize what was going on until I saw AJ literally disemboweled. And at that point, it just erupted into chaos, and we tried to get the kids to the riverbank. And Dante went running upriver for help. I mean, it really just, it was a matter of seconds, and the whole thing had changed. So.
And today you used Nicolae Miu's, I think you called him Miu, but fair, you didn't know his name at the time.
No, I had no idea who he was.
You didn't know the other group of tubers either?
No.
So were you kind of over by your tube still?
I was still on my tube until Maddie came running over. It was after she said that he punched me, and I started looking at her face, and then literally within seconds, you know, the boys were coming at me, and I was trying to assess their injuries and trying to make sense of it all, you know, in mere moments.
Did you see anything on Maddie's face of injury?
Yeah, I mean, her eye was red and swollen.
Like skin around the eye, or what do you mean?
I mean, her cheek was all puffed out. I mean, it was clear that she had been struck.
Given how far away you are, you didn't actually see any of the stabbings or the...
No, I saw Dante strike Mr. Miu, and I had yelled out, you know, to stop, because I didn't know what was going on at that point. That was prior to knowing that he had hit Maddie, and prior to knowing that anyone had been stabbed.
Did you see where Nicolae went?
I didn't. I honestly was worried about my kids. I wasn't paying attention to where he went. I almost, you know, I was looking at my kids, not looking upriver, not looking at what was going on. AJ's injuries were so severe, and I hate to admit it, but I was worried about my son Tony, and my son Tony was taking care of AJ, and there was nothing going to pull Tony off of AJ. And so I really was just very focused on Tony. I know I had sent Sheena and a couple others, Sheena and Janelle upriver after Dante to make sure he was okay and to try and get us some help. You know, I knew that shortly downriver there was a sheriff's stand where they monitored the river. I just didn't know how far it was. I had actually thought it was closer than it was. And so I hoped that they were able to get a hold of the sheriff there.
Nothing else, Judge.
Mr. Nelson?
Mr. Carlson?
Right.
Want to ask you some questions about your birthday, okay?
Sure.
It wasn't just your birthday, it was also celebration of Madison Cohen's birthday as well, correct?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Would it surprise you if Madison Cohen testified that it was a celebration of her birthday?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
I mean,
do you know her very well?
Through my kids.
Okay.
I've gotten to know her much better since this incident.
Sure. On that day, though, fair to say it was you and your friends. There was including you, there was like 11 of you. Is that right?
I mean, I can count it for you. It was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 of us, yeah.
And the 11 of you were celebrating, correct?
Correct.
And part of that celebration involved consuming alcohol.
I get where you're going with that, but the reason we went to the Apple River, I put a limit on how much alcohol the kids could bring because we'd had a problem with drinking on the Namakogan, and I didn't want a bunch of drunken people at my birthday that year.
Sure. Understood.
Good
But in
job.
the past, you,
All right. So again, the defense just breaks down his testimony and statement that he made at the time of the incident. So we shall skip to his son. I think this is Dante. He was one of them.
Okay, I stopped at 2939. Now I want to play the video so we have audio. You can mute the screen or block the screen. After you saw Nicolae strike Maddie, did you yell something about it?
Yes.
Do you remember what you yelled?
You never hit a woman.
Bruce Rivers would agree with you there. So with 99% of the population.
All right, I'm ready. I'm at 156 in the video. You hear you saying that in that portion of the video?
I do.
And now I stopped at 157. I'm going to keep going forward. So Riley, now we see I'm at 202. Riley clutching her side. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you remember if you saw that at the time or not?
I do not remember.
But it was after, when she's seen with an injury on the video, it was after you yelled.
You don't hit a woman.
Did you do an interview with law enforcement?
Yes.
Well, actually, let me back up. So at some point, are you stabbed?
Yes.
And what do you remember of, actually just what do you remember in your mind, not from the video, about what happened after, well, I guess first let me ask, do you remember Tony telling you to back up or get back?
I remember him pushing me away from the commotion.
Okay. And what do you remember after that?
I was pushed away, and then I heard screaming going on behind me, so I had turned around, and then I was looking at Nick, and he was standing maybe 6 feet in front of me. He just walked towards me and stabbed me.
And what do you recall happening after that?
I went to my dad.
Did you see what Nicolae did after that?
No.
Do you have a memory of the sequence of when people were stabbed?
At first I thought it was Riley Me, Isaac, AJ, and then my brother. But as video has shown, that wasn't the order.
So when you were interviewed by law enforcement, you're trying to remember and tell them what happened?
I believe that's the order I had used. I can't exactly say.
Were you in the hospital when you were interviewed?
Yeah.
It was the same day of the stabbings?
I think I was at the hospital for maybe 2 minutes before I was interviewed.
So at the scene, how'd you get to the hospital? Were you rushed away in an ambulance?
I remember leaning up against the cop car and then coming to, I was in an ambulance. And then the next thing I know, I was on the highway being put into, I think, a helicopter.
And sometime shortly after you got to the hospitals when you were interviewed?
Yeah.
And did you tell law enforcement that you saw that it was Riley who got hit by Nicolae?
I could have.
You don't remember what you said in your interview?
Not by heart.
Surely that interview wouldn't be inadmissible because he's obviously been given quite heavy painkillers, enough to knock him out. So they've obviously given him some morphine or equivalent, and he's said his memory is fractured. He is in and out of consciousness. So how can an accurate statement be given 2 minutes after he's arrived at a hospital? I know that they've got to try and gather all the information and all the facts as quickly as possible, but and that's fine. My issue is with the defense trying to break down his statement to law enforcement and, call his statement into credibility. It's just a bit poor for me.
Where were you stabbed?
In my lower abdomen, I guess.
Actually,
My
that's
lower chest area.
Can you stand up and just point?
I want to look at it right
Here. I mean, I can show you if you want.
Are you comfortable showing you have a scar?
Yeah.
It shows the exact spot?
Yeah.
Looks like a little bit off to the center to the left, right below your rib cage?
Right below my ribcage, yeah.
The jury scene? Permission to approach?
Yes. Yes.
31. Showing when it's been marked as exhibit 31. Can you identify what that is?
That is my stab wound, I think 2 days after I got home from the hospital.
Permission to publish?
Any objection to 31?
No objection, no objection to publication.
Received.
You just do that one more. Yeah. Oh, do I have to turn it off? I can do it. You've seen the video, is that right?
Yes.
Do you see yourself get stabbed in the video?
No.
And Dante, if your medical records say that your BAC was a .119, does that seem probably about in the ballpark?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything. Well, how tall are you and what do you weigh?
6 foot and 185.
I think 4 or 5 more questions. Did you know if Nicolae was alone or in a group?
I didn't know.
Did he ever say he had a group upstream that you heard?
No.
Did you ever hear anyone threaten Nicolae before you saw the strike on Maddie?
No.
I don't have anything else.
Mr. Nelson?
Your testimony was that you had 2 beers prior to walking over there.
All right. And we'll head on to the last witness for the day, which is, where are we? Here we go. Now, this is Landon Weir, another friend of Isaac's.
Keep going.
Last
All the way into the well. There we go. Please face the clerk. Raise your right hand. She will administer the oath.
Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and that?
Yes.
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Smestad.
Always state your name for the record, please.
Landon Wire,
How do you spell your last name?
WEYER,
How old are you?
19.
What do you do for a living?
I played football at UMD and go to school there, but I'm in the process of transferring right now.
And by UMD, do you mean University of Minnesota Duluth?
Yep.
Where do you live when you're not a student up in Duluth?
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Do you live at home with your parents?
Yep.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yep.
How did you know Isaac?
We've been friends. We were friends since I was like 7th grade.
You described your relationship as close.
Yes.
Do you recall the day of July 30th, 2022?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac that day?
Yes.
Were you with him on the river when he was killed?
Yes.
Were you part of the group that had met at Stillwater High School and rode over with Alex Bang's vehicle to River's Edge to rent tubes?
Yes.
Were you with the group the whole day?
Yes.
Do you remember what time you got on the river? About what time?
I do not.
Were your tubes tied together?
Yes.
Did that create one big raft?
Yes.
Were you all sitting on the tubes
Yes.
as you were going down the river?
Yes.
Did you have any alcohol to drink?
Yes.
What did you personally have to drink?
A couple beers and maybe a couple shots.
Okay, what kind of shots did you drink?
Tito's.
Is that a vodka?
Yes.
Did you have use any other substances?
We also smoked.
When you say you smoked, is that referring to marijuana?
Yes.
Did you see Isaac Schuman using any marijuana that day?
I don't remember.
At some point, let me ask you this. Despite the alcohol you drank and the marijuana you used, do you have a recollection or a memory of what happened that day?
Yes.
Number 3.
At some point, as you were going down the river, did you have contact with the defendant, Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you know whereabouts that was on the river?
Towards the end.
Do you remember any landmarks being in the area?
Not really.
Or had you ever been on the river before that day?
Yes.
When you first saw Mr. Miu, what did he appear to be doing?
He was standing in short water with the goggles and a snorkel.
All right. Did you ask him, or anybody in your group ask him what he was doing?
Said something along the lines of, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
Okay. Did he answer? Did you hear him answer, I guess?
Not right away because we were too far away.
All right. As you got closer to him, did he say what he was doing?
He mentioned something about little girls.
Okay. Do you know how close you were to him when he said that?
Not necessarily, no.
All right. At some point, did Juan Cockfield call him some names?
Yes.
Are you aware that Juan Cockfield had been recording what happened?
At the time, not necessarily, no.
All right. Have you seen that video since this happened back in 2022?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to play the first portion of the video and I have some questions about it.
What is he on? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Can you go back a couple frames? Landon, do you recall this moment on the river back in 2022?
Yes.
What is Mr. Miu doing in that portion of the video we just watched?
Looks like he's about to reach over me and grab our tubes.
Are those your legs in the video where we're stopped? And I guess the timestamp is 4 seconds. At the 4 second mark?
Yeah.
Were you sitting next to Juan?
Yes.
Does Mr. Miu come running up to where you are sitting on the tubes?
Yes.
Does he grab at the area where your legs are?
Yes.
Did he physically touch your legs?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Did Mr. Miu make any kind of contact with anybody on the tubes?
I believe when he was reaching over, he touched me a little bit.
All right. Can you play it? We're going to continue the video from 04.
Whoa! 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 Get away! Whoa! Oh, God!
We stopped at 12 second mark. That portion of the video, what do you do when he comes up and grabs onto the area where your legs are?
I was just scared, just got up.
Did you bail out of your tube?
Yeah.
Did you have some concerns about what he was doing when he came up and reached towards you?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, I was scared.
Did he say anything as he came running up to you?
I don't remember.
All right. Did he give you any kind of explanation for why he was grabbing at your legs?
No.
Did you have any adults with you in your group?
No.
Everybody in your group 17 at the time?
Yes.
After he grabbed onto your tubes, did you see what he did next? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
All right. At some point, did he take several steps away from your group?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you say anything to him as he was interacting with you originally?
I don't necessarily remember.
Can you keep your voice up, please?
I don't remember.
All right. Do you know whether you called him any names?
I mean, I might have said that he was a pedophile or something like that.
Did you swear at him at all?
No,
Did you threaten him?
no.
At some point, did another group on the river come over to see what the heck was going on?
Yes,
Did you know any of those people?
no.
Were they older than you, if you know?
I didn't know, but they appeared to be adults.
And what did you see happen when the adults came over?
They had been saying the same thing we were saying, telling him to leave us alone and go away.
Right, and did you ever see him leave?
No.
At some point, do you recall laughing at him?
Yes.
And why were you laughing at him?
Once more people came, I felt a little bit more comfortable and with the adults being around. So I felt more comfortable.
Did you ever hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu that you recall?
No, not that I recall.
All right. Did you ever see, I'll strike that. When the other group came over to check, see what was going on, do you remember the gender of the folks that came over initially?
Both boys and girls.
All right. At some point, did you see the girls having an argument with Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you have a memory of that?
Yes, I remember she was telling him to leave us alone and go away.
All right. Do you recall where you were standing at the time they were having that conversation with him?
I was standing in front of him next to Jawan in the video.
You have an idea of how far away you were?
Probably feet away.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Miu react physically to these women that are yelling at him?
Yes.
What did you see him do?
I saw him strike her.
Okay, which one did he strike, if you remember?
She had blonde hair. She was standing right in front of him.
Okay, did you know him at all? Or know her at all?
I did not know.
Did you see which hand he hit her with?
Not necessarily, no. I think it was his right hand.
All right, did you see whether it was a closed fist or a open palm?
I did not.
Did you see whether he had a knife in his hand at the time that happened?
No.
All right. After he punched the blonde woman, what happened next? What did you see happen next?
I saw him get punched after, and then I saw people stabbed.
All right. When Mr. Miu got punched, did he go down in the water?
Yes.
Did you or any of your guys jump on him, hit him, kick him while he was in the water?
No.
How many people did you see actually hit Mr. Miu when he was in the water?
I only saw him get hit when the first initial strike.
All right. At some point, did he get up out of the water?
Yes.
Did you notice at that point if he had a knife in his hand or not?
No.
Eventually, did you realize that there were some people? Did you see some injured people eventually?
Yes.
Do you know how they got injured?
First thing I saw was someone holding their stomach. It's the first thing I saw.
Did that cause you concern?
Yeah, that was very traumatizing.
Did you flee the area?
I was standing there for a while, and then I ended up going further away next to the tubes.
All right. We're going to show you a still frame from the video, Juan's video, and I'm going to ask you some questions about it. All right. This video, do you see two people?
Yes.
One in the foreground, one in the background?
Yeah.
Which one? Is one of them you?
Yes, I'm in the background.
All right. Do you estimate how many feet you are away from the person in the foreground?
Sorry, what?
How far away are you from the person that's in the blue shorts there?
I'd say maybe 10 feet.
All right. We're gonna scroll through from, that was 2596. I'd like, or pardon me. Can you scroll? We're gonna try to scroll through from 2891, and I'll ask you some questions about those pictures too. We're starting at 2891. You can stop it there. We're at 2926. Landon, do you see Mr. Miu in this frame? Or at least his arm?
Yes.
Do you see if he's holding anything in his hand?
Looks like there could be a knife in his hand there.
Had you moved from your previous position that was shown in 2891 where you were standing?
I don't remember.
All right. Do you remember rushing up towards him or doing anything like that?
No.
Did you ever lay a hand on him?
No.
Did he ever lay a hand on you other than when he grabbed onto your tubes?
I don't believe so, no.
Did you ever get close enough to him where he could have done that?
Yes.
At least in this video, this part of the video, you were, I think by your estimate, about 10 feet away. Is that right?
Yeah.
At some point, did you realize that Isaac had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I believe Jawan screamed out his name, and then I looked and saw.
Were you with Jawan by the tubes later on in the video? You heard Jawan call out?
Yes.
Did you go to where Isaac was?
Eventually, yes.
Did you see that he was wounded?
Yes.
What did you see?
I saw a cut in his chest.
Did you or other folks in your group try to assist him?
Yes. Jawan and Owen. Owen had his hands on the wound, and Alex was holding him up.
All right, did you eventually move him over to the shore?
Yes, that was on the shore when they were doing that.
At some point, did some other folks stop to help you guys?
Yes.
Did they provide care to him, medical care?
Yes.
I'm going to back up here a little bit. Prior to Mr. Miu punching the blonde lady, did you see anybody strike him in any fashion?
No.
Did you see, let me ask you this, did you have a knife that day?
No.
Did you ever see anybody in your group with a knife that day?
No.
Did you see a knife on anybody that was involved in this incident?
No, not until I saw that people were stabbed. I never saw anybody have a knife.
Did you see where Mr. Miu went after he was done stabbing folks?
No.
At some point, was Isaac taken off the river by medical personnel?
Yes.
Did you go with him, follow him?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Was Isaac first taken up to the road near the bridge?
Yes.
Did you speak to any police officers while you were still near the river? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember, no.
Was Isaac taken to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you go to the hospital with him?
Yes.
Do you remember speaking to a police officer at the hospital?
Yes.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yes.
What you saw?
Yes.
Do you still remember the face of the person who did this?
Yes.
Do you see him here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you point him out? See what he's wearing?
Yes.
Can you say what he's wearing?
He's wearing a suit, blue suit with gray pants. And
Nothing further.
Mr. Chirofisi?
So, Mr. Ryder, you are, I want to make sure I got this right. 2 of the 6 of you that were there that day are now college football players. Is that right?
yes.
Right. That's the end of direct examination, and they start cross-examination again and go over the exact same thing. So today we have been through all these witnesses. We didn't get to see Madison Cohen because she requested that her audio and video not be televised. So they refer to her testimony throughout the trial, but we don't get to see her. So tomorrow we have Tony Carlson, who was one of the boys that was stabbed. So that's the 2 brothers, one of their brothers, Riley Madison. This is the lady that was in the bikini that got stabbed in the ribs. AJ Martin, he was the one in the orange shorts. He also gets stabbed. And we also hear from Sandy Miu, the defendant's ex-wife, wife at the time. So we have a little bit on tomorrow. So that's 8, another 8 witnesses tomorrow. And I will do the same. Get off. As I did, we can close that down. I'll do the same as I did today and reduce all the cross-examination. The repetitive stuff is just unnecessary, and it really is frame by frame by frame. If you want to watch the entire trial, you could go to Fox 9 or Law and Crime or Court TV. Any of them will have the entire trial with every bit in it. But this particular video on day 2 is 8.5 hours long. If you'd like to watch 8.5 hours long with all the pauses and the breaks and the repetitiveness, knock yourself out. So with that, I think that draws us to a close for another day. Yep, 2 hours, 13 minutes. That's plenty for me. The kitty cats have certainly made themselves known this evening. So have a lovely Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until then, I bid you adieu.